Sunday, September 27th. Chase and I are all set up in the urban zone here in Iowa. My second whitetail sit of the year. Brad and I came out last night and had a pretty slow hunt. It was 82 degrees with gusty winds. This front was just starting to push through, and we didn't see deer till the last 5 minutes. Today it's about 60 degrees, and we've got a northwest wind that's working on switching to southwest. But yesterday was our last warm day for quite a while. I don't think it gets above 70 degrees again for another 10 days. It's pretty exciting for into September, early October. Tonight I'm just on a doe mission. Got to shoot 3 does to earn a buck tag for next year. I usually try to do that here in September. We're actually in the same tree that I shot my 3 does out of last September. This derecho storm has changed the landscape here. Every tree, just about except the one we're in, is busted off. A lot of these deer trails are blocked. It'll be interesting to see how the deer move through here. I was able to get out and pull cards on my home farm and on the river bottom farm yesterday. The river bottom farm has been pretty slow. It usually is in the summer. Last year was one of the best summers we had for velvet photos, but that farm is usually pretty slow in the summer. And the deer start moving back in, right about this time. The only buck that's really piqued my interest out there is Merino. He is back. He's been pretty spotty. This is actually the first year we ever get velvet photos of him. And he was on this last card pull, hard-horned. Just one picture of him, and he's on one camera. So he hasn't really moved into the farm yet. We've got some other familiar faces that are on the farm, just not deer that I'm going to be primarily chasing. Black-eyed 10 and Bob is back, and that crab claw 10, all these bucks that we saw so much last year. Some of them are just too young still, and some of them just aren't deer I'm interested in primarily targeting. One deer I'm really looking forward to showing back up is that broken 4-year-old. We called him Merino Jr. a little bit last year. We probably had 10 different encounters with him. He's the buck that snort wheezed under Jared in late October, and my home farm is loaded with great bucks this year. So that's going to be where I'm primarily focusing my attention, at least early season. That big drop tine buck, he's a deer we found sheds to last year. He wasn't on the farm very much. And then I've had him all summer, and he shed his velvet, and he's still there. Even have a few daylight photos of him this last month. But he's not as consistent as this big 10. This 10 was a nice clean 10 last year, looked like a 4-year-old. This year he made a nice jump, threw out some character points. And he lived in the center of the farm last year, and it looks like he still is this year. I mean, just right in the middle of the central timber bedding area. I've got 4 big and beastie green plots surrounding that bedding area, and I've got daylight photos of him on all of them in the last month. And he's been every 3, 4, or 5 days on that cherry tree food plot that we put in this year on that hilltop in the fence line. I think statistically he's going to be my best, the buck that I have the best chance of getting after. And then the big 9 shed his velvet, and I'm still getting pics of him. He's kind of spotty like that drop tine buck, but he's there, and he's also in daylight a little bit at the end of August, early September. There's some other mature bucks too, but those will be my 3 primary targets on that farm, and I'm really looking forward to spending a lot of time on that farm this year. Thursday is opening day statewide in Iowa, and this big cold front's coming through. I mean, the highs in the 50s that day, lows in the 30s. That good weather's going to go through the opening weekend and into the early next week. We've got a little over 2 hours left. Hopefully the deer start moving soon. We're down to our last 30 minutes, but with the overcast conditions and this tree canopy, we're basically out of camera light. Unfortunately, we didn't have any does come in tonight. We saw one doe off in the distance, and we saw 5 young bucks. It's fun to watch them. They've been out in the beans right here for a while, just kind of messing around. Eventually, I imagine I'll catch up with some does here in the urban zone. But either way, I'm looking forward to Thursday. Great conditions and some good bucks to chase. So anyway, we'll catch up with you guys next time I'm out.